They continue to improve as time passes. Their singing, their rapping, their creativity, their storytelling. And in 2023, they weren't strangers to delivering the best of the best to their fans, be it in their solo careers, bands, seiyuu units, or even in the 2D music projects they are a part of. This is an episode to talk about the 12 male seiyuu that impressed me in 2023. Let's kick off this episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyuu Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is 12 male seiyuu that impressed in 2023. This is a yearly feature that reflects my impressions of the various male seiyuu active in the music industry. To create this episode, I have into consideration several things about the seiyuu in question. First off, how active they were in 2023, then how much the seiyuu improved as singers, then their technique and voice tone, variety and versatility of their music, quality of the music released, performances outside of their solo careers. So this isn't just an episode about who I like the most. If you listen to this podcast, you may already have an idea about who I like. This is an episode about who impressed me the most, taking into account all those factors I just mentioned. This is a yearly feature, and if you are curious about the male seiyuu that impressed me in 2020, 2021 and 2022, just visit the channel or check the links in the description. Do know that the entries in this episode are ranked starting from number 12 to number 1. Now let's kick off this episode. Number 12. Junichi Suabe. An iconic booming bass voice that doesn't need an introduction, and still, I will do that because some of you may be new listeners of the podcast or even new to male seiyuu. Junichi Suabe is known for his unique bass voice, a booming one with a lot of, once again, let's be honest, natural sex appeal. His voice is alluring to a level that even Takuya Sato, best known for that, can't even match. And he makes little effort to sound like that. After all, that's Junichi Suabe's natural voice tone and color. But still, it never ceases to impress me how smooth, suave, and powerful Suabe can sound, no matter if he's singing or rapping. Junichi Suabe was quite active in 2023, while delivering amazing performances as part of all the groups he is currently with, which is Buraika, Eden, Adam, and Starish. Out of all the groups he is a part of, it is worth giving a spotlight to his performances with Buraika in the Paradox Live franchise. Not only is Suabe doing something completely different from what he is and was used to, but he is also doing it so as if it is second nature to him. The fact that he is one of the most experienced narrators among male seiyuu also helps him have a cadence in his rapping that makes you want to stop and just listen to him. No matter how violent or aggressive his rapping in Buraika may be, you will want to listen to him. Suabe continues to show, alongside Sho Hayami, that you must continue to bet on veteran seiyuu because their experience can give way to the most impressive performances while putting a different light on their skills. In 2023, Suabe was one of the voices I wanted to hear the most. I was curious what he could pull off that was actually new to him, and with Buraika, he got to do that and more. Number 11. Chiaki Kobayashi. One of the new names entering this chart is Chiaki Kobayashi. Now, you will say that he wasn't active enough to even warrant being on this list, and that perhaps there were other names better suited to fill in this number 11. Fair enough, but still, that doesn't take away that in 2023, Chiaki Kobayashi was one of the biggest surprises in the 2D music scene. He's got a raspy undertone to his singing voice that I love. At the same time, sitting in the low tenor, high baritone range, I'm still not sure about his vocal range, he has been able to add a gentle touch to Kranv's performances while at the same time sounding surprisingly mature. At the same time, he can sound incredibly violent and deliver powerful rap performances with Goku Luck in the Paradox Live franchise. This is something that instantly impressed me. His flow is ridiculously good and smooth, something you rarely find in seiyuu taking their first steps in rap projects. And especially for a seiyuu with little experience in the 2D music scene, Chiaki Kobayashi was showing all his aces right from the start. I was and still am impressed. Of course, I am more partial to his performances with Cranv, as this was the group with which he got to show more of his vocal range. With this group, he took the initiative and led the group a couple of times, making new fans ask, who is this person singing in that specific part? He's as smooth as you can get as a singer, and with that raspy undertone, something that can be a quirk or, from his range, which can be much lower than you and I know for now, it can make a room stop to listen to him. After what Chiaki Kobayashi showed in 2023, I'm expecting a lot of great things from him in 2024. Hopefully, he will continue improving and showing more and more of his vocal range in the various 2D music projects he is a part of. Number 10. Toshiyuki Toyonaga. Undeniably the best singer among male seiyuu, Toshiyuki Toyonaga continues impressing without looking or sounding like he is breaking a sweat. The talented tenor continues to put his wide vocal range to the test, be it as a solo artist with his third album Character Dancer, or even as part of the most varied 2D music projects. Mind you, alongside Soma Saito, Yoshiki Nakajima, Makoto Furukawa and Shoya Chiba, Toshiyuki Toyonaga is one of the most active male seiyuu in the 2D music scene. He's everywhere. Although in 2023 some of the groups he's a part of were not active or barely active, but he still left a mark. Among the various projects he was active with were the Paradox Live franchise, B Project, Carnelian Blood, Aopella, Tsuki Pro, Hanadol, A3 and Fabulous Night. He continues to voice some of the most complex and quirky characters you can find, and he does an amazing job fleshing those out in ways that will make you either love or love to hate the characters he performs as. I keep on saying this, but his ability to harmonize with anyone, his good ear that enables him to fit right in whichever lineup he is a part of, and his versatility are unique. He makes himself instantly an essential part of any group he is a part of, and makes sure to live up to the expectations that fans have of him. Find me a seiyuu as consistent in terms of quality performances as Toshiyuki Toyonaga across 2D music projects. There are very few names that can live up to those ridiculous standards, and believe me, every single one of those is worthy of being named one of the best singers among male seiyuu. However, Toyonaga continues to stay clear on that front, comfortably continuing to showcase just how much of a power vocal and what a true vocal chameleon is. Number 9. Takuya Sato. The past couple of years have been quite interesting for fans of Takuya Sato. The versatile baritone continues to improve as a singer, adding more and more weapons and tricks to his skill set, making sure his performances are memorable time and time again. While some of the seiyuu in this feature are active as solo artists, Takuya Sato is no longer one, so all his focus goes towards delivering the best performances with some of the best 2D groups out there. He continued to lead the way with Fame in the Aopella franchise, he stepped up and impressed with Trigger in the Idolish 7 franchise, continued to steal the show as a member of Rockdown in the Vez Rock franchise, and showed his vocal prowess and warmth with the Winter Troop in the A3 franchise. He performed nu disco, a cappella, rock, pop, ballads, and in every single performance of his, he made sure to leave a mark to make you remember his voice and presence within the song. I feel like this is something that comes from his unusual charisma, and let's not sugarcoat it, his natural allure. And of course, being the amazing singer and performer he is, Sato is well aware of that and cranks up all of that to the maximum, so that you're either in awe or completely flustered because of him. Takuya Sato is a low baritone, but don't let that shift your focus away from how he harmonizes with others, how he is an amazing active listener to the point that performances get better because of him, as well as how we can now do head voice, albeit a bit, falsetto, and add a dash of vibrato. Takuya Sato is much more than what people usually take him for. He's a massive talent who keeps on impressing day in and day out. And in 2023, I couldn't get enough of him. Number 8. Wataru Hatano. I feel like male seiyuu fans, or even fans of 2D groups, don't give him enough credit, and honestly, it is unreal how little he is mentioned whenever the talk is about best singers, but interestingly enough, he is part of some of the 2D groups usually mentioned as the best in their categories. So, to make things right, and because Wataru Hatano is an underrated singer who was giving his all in 2023, be it as a solo artist or as a member of 2D groups, he gets a shout in this feature. The talented baritone continues to be a pillar for Trigger in the Idolish 7 franchise, having the maturity and experience needed for the group to grow and improve alongside him. As a result of his continuous efforts in doing more and better, all tied up with Trigger having a sound and tone that is currently evolving, ended up making the group shine in 2023. It is still unreal when, if you look back to 2023, almost all of Trigger's songs can make it to a list of best of the year, and Trigger simultaneously can be up there with Lolodi and Cranv as one of the best groups in the year. Just listening to Hatano's performances with the group, regardless if he is supporting or leading the way, is enough to understand that he has all the control and confidence you could ask for. At the same time, his technique is second to none. He is reliable, solo or in a group. He can cover from low tenor to bass vocal ranges, which is massive. And he does the intangibles. I'm talking about active listening, harmonies, ad-libs, details and nuances in his performance, as well as he has an emotional range that leaves a mark and usually makes other singers feel comfortable performing with him. Whether he was performing Trigger's stylish nu disco and funky music or the shredding rock and jazz stylings of Undead, even down to the ballads and pop tunes by Procelarum and Spy M, in 2023, Wataru Hatano was doing a bit of everything, and despite going unnoticed by some people, for me, Hatano was in the spotlight plenty of times, and for all the right reasons. And let's not forget how innovative he was in his concept album, Dawn, mixing reading drama with music to create a unique experience for his fans. As 2023 came to a close, Wataru Hatano was one of the male seiyuu that impressed me the most. Number 7. Shueishiba. Hardly a surprise to find Shueishiba in here. The talented tenor was active with Erosion, Inmate, Sphere Rise, Tokyo Color Sonic, High Joker and Killer King. And honestly, he continued to make a case for himself as a male seiyuu who fully deserved to make a solo debut. Whether it was singing powerful rock with a raspy, raw delivery with Erosion, smoothly delivering some of the fanciest melodies in Inmate's hip-hop tunes, tackling from pop to acoustic music with Sphere Rise, Tokyo Color Sonic and High Joker, or just fancy pop with Killer King, he was everywhere leaving his mark. I mentioned in 2021 that you could tell he was growing a lot of his confidence on stage, but now, even on record, you can notice his confidence. It is as if a switch was turned on, and now Shueishiba is in a perfect place as a performer for all the 2D music projects he's a part of, and finally his solo debut in January 2024 with the EP Blessing. Yes, after all the hard work and 3 years of solid and outstanding performances, Shueishiba finally gets a shot at leaving a mark as a solo artist, showcasing his colors with an EP with a couple of songs with lyrics written by him, as well as the EP as a whole with a lot of his input to make sure it is perfect. After a solid 2023, the announcement of his solo debut arrived as the cherry on top. Number 6. Soma Saito. It seems that a pattern is starting to form for the singer-songwriter extraordinaire Soma Saito. In his 6th year as a solo artist, Saito opted to hold a 2-part live show, each with unique concepts and different set lists. The 5th anniversary live, Étranger Banquet, was a marvel to watch on Blu-ray, and I can only imagine how otherworldly of an experience it was live. But as I said earlier, Saito has started to form patterns in his career. So since he took over his solo career as a singer-songwriter back with the EP My Blue Vacation, Soma Saito has made sure to release an EP or album every 2 years and in between hold live shows. So after a busy 2022 in which he released not one but 2 EPs, My Beautiful Valentine, currently the best album ever released by a male seiyuu artist, and Yin Yang, the dark and experimental EP that pushed boundaries for Saito as a singer-songwriter. Well, 2023 was all about a live show and then silence. Well-deserved silence, if you ask me. During 2023, Saito mentioned he was working on new music and plenty of it was already in demo format, but he ended up not releasing any music as a solo artist. It seems he may be saving it for a full-length album in 2024, which I'm all in for it. At the same time, while there was no new solo music, Saito was really busy with 2D groups in the most varied music genres. He continues to be one of the busiest male seiyuu artists out there. I reckon at the moment he is the #1 male seiyuu in terms of workload in 2D music projects, being active in 7 different 2D music franchises. His standout performances lie with Trigger, group that in 2023 was in a league of its own in terms of quality on the vocal end, paired up with music evolution. It was with this group that I felt that he was the most comfortable, delivering commanding performances that make use not only of his gentle tenor range, but also of the technicality he has and continues to upgrade year after year. From nu disco to funk, rock, EDM, jazz, hip-hop and pop, Soma Saito showed yet again that he can sing anything and sound amazing at it. At the same time, he showed his range, going from the high-pitched vocals from Twink to the mid-toned gentleness for Trigger, and even down to the far baritone style with Flink Posse as Gentaro. While fans missed Saito's whisper style of singing in 2023, something he only uses as a solo artist, there was much more to see and hear, and Saito made sure everything was worth your time. Number 5. Makoto Furukawa. Makoto Furukawa continues to be one of the most interesting singers among male seiyuu. His enthusiasm and passion for his solo music are noticeable even without him saying it. The effort and passion he puts into improving his singing skills, to adapt himself to different 2D groups and music genres was also obvious with a couple of listens to some of his performances in 2023. However, let's start talking about his solo artist career. 2023 was the year in which Makoto Furukawa celebrated his 5th anniversary as a solo artist. And with that celebration arrived the stylish jazz rock single Place Your Bets. After experimenting with different sides to jazz music in 2021's Room of No Name and orchestral jazz in 2022 with Ware Bara ni Isu and Ibara Rimbunkyoku, Furukawa was back to his element in 2023. Place Your Bets was all in for jazz and rock, bringing forth stylish music, vivid soundscapes and stories that grab your attention right from the start with their mystery. Furukawa's confidence, as well as a want to wrap up a period of his solo career in the best way possible, made Place Your Bets his best-selling CD at the moment with over 11,000 copies sold. And while Furukawa was comfortable performing with his powerful and booming vibrato, with an undertone of charm and allure, it wasn't here that impressed me the most. It was actually with 2D groups. He showed that he's slowly getting more comfortable as a rapper for Goku Luck in the Paradox Live franchise, and this was essential for the group to stand out and, for a moment, to even stand a chance in the Road to Legend CD series against tough competition. At the same time, you could find him also rapping, but at the same time performing in an R&B styling with Kranv, group in which Furukawa showed his biggest growth. I'm not kidding when I say that perhaps this was the group in which his falsetto started to develop, and get a decent showcase, gradually improving over time. At the same time, he was active with Ruby a Leopard, bringing the emo rock vibes from yore to today in the most alluring and dangerous way you can think of, tapping more into his low baritone range. Twilight in the Fabulous Night franchise opened the doors to seeing and hearing how Furukawa would sound like as an R&B singer, and honestly, I was sold on the idea in the blink of an eye. You can listen to his performance in Waning Moon. It's jaw-droppingly beautiful, but also so sexy that you can't take your eyes off of him. Rap, rock, EDM, R&B, emo rock, pop, acoustic, you name it. Furukawa was performing music in the most varied genres and showcasing the most different sides of his vocal range. And he was leaving a mark, a big one. And while many people criticize Furukawa's booming vibrato, I honestly wanted more and more, as it fits perfectly with rock music and R&B, two of the music genres he performed the most songs in during 2023. Number 4. Kentito. Kentito may not be as popular as other male seiyuu I just mentioned in this episode, and even of those I haven't mentioned, but that doesn't take away the fact that in 2023 he was impressive. The talented singer-songwriter was active as a solo artist with his first EP, Hanabi, and managed to start 2023 already in contention for the best album of the year. He may have not gotten that title, it belongs to Trignal's Ero Nakatachi, but still, Kentito was deserving of all the praise and more he got last year. Aside from his solo career, the talented tenor was active with Umake, releasing the album Atmosphere, easily the duo's best album to date. In there, he composed all the songs and played some of the instruments, namely the guitars, piano and drums, helping shape the demos that would later on transform into the full-fledged songs we got to enjoy early in the year. Then, as part of Anthos, he was a force to be reckoned with. Although he is a good singer, it is in groups in which everyone or almost everyone is a good singer that you can measure just how good they are. Well, among the main vocals in the group, Shunichi Toki and Shun Horie, who kept improving their skills, Kentito was still unmatchable, and that was due to his highly technical and smooth tenor vocals. Whether leading the way or serving as a backup in Anthos, Kentito was memorable. Worth mentioning his performances as Lihito in the Air Quotes CD series. That is easily the best set of solo performances in the Hanadol franchise to date. He lent as well his talents to Matero in the EPs released during the summer, as well as Sam in the Sidem franchise, continuing to showcase not only his rapping flow, but also his singing skills. Also in 2023, Kentito tried new things and joined the cast of Ultras, new group in the B Project franchise, and let me tell you, alongside Tasuku Hatanaka, who is a power vocal as well, Kentito still stood out the most for how complete as a singer he is. While not many people pay attention to Kentito, the truth is, he continues to grow as a singer-songwriter for his solo career, as well as Umake, and he is a force to be reckoned with for 2D groups. Number 3. Yumo Uchida. Popular R&B pop solo artist and easily one of the best performers among male seiyuu, Yumo Uchida had a busy 2023. In 2023, he celebrated his 5th anniversary as a solo artist, and with that arrived a series of digital singles, his first ever digital single series, and a set of new songs, each exploring different music genres, vibes, and even singing styles. Later on, in November 2023, those would wrap up neatly in the 3rd album, Why, one of the best albums of the year, yet one not without its faults. Still, fans got the opportunity to listen to an artist not only looking back in time and reminiscing about his journey, but also an artist who is focused on the future, knows what they can do, and has the confidence to pull off anything they are challenged with. Yumo Uchida may not be a vocal chameleon, as his voice differs very little from his solo artist performances to his performances in 2D groups, but he is basically out there with Toshiyuki Toyonaga and Soma Saito when it comes to being extremely versatile, suiting whichever music genre, vibe, and tone you may want of them. rock, melodic hardcore, pop, R&B, jazz, EDM, ballads, or even acoustic tunes cover the music genres explored in this third album. And those are complemented with stellar performances as part of Vedlip, Eve, Eden, Dramatic Stars, Impish Crow, and Heavens throughout 2023. Yu Muchida is one of those rare talents among male seiyuu who can pull off anything, who can embrace any project and leave a mark. He is a talent that arrives to make a positive difference, to improve groups and bands, and that is what makes him so desirable to have in a 2D music project and continues making him one of the most exciting male seiyuu artists out there. Number 2. Kensho Ono. For many of you, Kensho Ono appearing in second is no surprise. In 2023, he was a force to be reckoned with and the heart of many of the 2D groups he is a part of. He was active with Idolish 7, group part of the franchise of the same name, that in 2023 celebrated its 8th anniversary with a series of CD releases, new digital singles by all groups, live shows, and the first ever live show movie. With Idolish 7, Ono continued to improve his singing skills and he was leading the way in a charismatic fashion that made him, for the very first time since the franchise started, shine. Then with Vedlip, Kensho Ono showed that he has all the skills and more as a singer to perform a cappella hip-hop music, alongside some of the best singers among male seiyuu. His groove and also his vocal range impress a lot in this project. Then comes Procellarum, in which he continues to be a reliable and powerful singer, no matter the music genre that he has to tackle. At the same time came his intense performances as Vendetta's Temma in the Fabulous Night franchise. And the best of the best were his performances with Buraika, the hip-hop duo part of the Paradox Live franchise, in which he shares rapping duties with Junichi Suabe. I've said it before, but I love how quickly and easily Ono found his groove with Buraika, seeing as, before joining the group, he had no experience whatsoever as a rapper. At the same time, he sounds in perfect harmony with Junichi Suabe, with both covering completely different vocal ranges and thus complementing each other in the best way possible. Buraika has a laid-back, old-school hip-hop vibe about them and Ono fits that vibe right away, and not even sounding like he was making an effort to achieve that. I find it impressive and yet another reason why Kensho Ono is a name you should be on the lookout for whenever it comes to 2D music projects. All in all, in a year in which he was the heart of the groups he is a part of, Kensho Ono makes his first ever entrance in this feature. Number 1. Yoshiki Nakajima. The talented singer-songwriter and guitarist was active on all fronts in 2023, being one of the most active male seiyuu in 2D music projects in the past year. You could find him performing rock and acoustic pop rock with You Make, ska pop with Fujin Rising, acid jazz, hard rock and pop rock with Servanity, pop with Visti and Ryuseitai, as well as hard-hitting pop rock with EDM, with Tobari, Pionix and Sam, or even being downright sexy with Himmel's Space Disco. While Nakajima is not active as a solo artist, he has a couple of bands to his name that kept impressing in 2023. Servanity was the band that impressed the most, and for me, if not for Trignal Zero Nakatachi, they would have easily taken the title of Best Album for their performances in Midnight Sun. For me, the creativity flowing in this band, Nakajima's input from the lyrics to even the guitar playing, and then live performances all rounded up to make Servanity the artist of the year for me. His work with You Make is more substantial, as the group self-produces their music, and as such, Yoshiki Nakajima's involvement is more felt in their music. Atmosphere ended up being a massive album by the duo comprised of Yoshiki Nakajima and Ken Tito. He is one of the most versatile singers among male seiyuu, with a wide vocal range as well as a music sensibility and creativity that in 2023 put him one step ahead of everyone else. Yoshiki Nakajima continues to be in high demand for 2D music projects, and outside of it, the bands he is a part of continue to be as exciting as ever. For me, of course, what matters is the quality of the performances and whether or not you notice growth in comparison to previous releases or performances of theirs. And these 12 Seiyu really sealed the deal for me. No matter how much they rise or fall in this chart, I can't help but to be impressed by their constant want to improve and deliver performances that leave a mark, that push boundaries, and that make me want more. And their quality goes beyond their age or even how rookie or veteran they may be. It all goes down to amazing performances developed and delivered by skilled Seiyu ready to give their all day in, day out. But enough about my opinions. Tell me, which male Seiyu impressed you the most in 2023 and why? Let me know in the comments on YouTube or Spotify, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyu Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Hand That Feeds HQ's weekly male Seiyu and music-related content, hit the subscribe button. And if you are listening to this episode on a podcast listening platform, please consider following the podcast and leaving a review. Leaving a review is really simple and helps other people find this podcast and fall in love with male Seiyu artists and 2D groups. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyu Lounge. Thank you for listening and see you guys around.